on the play. And I do hate this giant chat window. It's not necessarily something that I have ever kept open in a game, yet it reappears every time. It takes up half my screen. That's beside the point. This is a plausible hand, though it has one land. Just about every spell in my hand, in fact, every spell in my hand can be played for one land. Serum Visions will dig me out of this. Thought Scour might do the same. I'm going to keep it. So we're going to go and find a Watery Grave, and I'll probably be Serum Visionsing on the first turn, hopefully to find a second land. That would probably be ideal here. And then if we do find a second land, we'll have potential to Thought Scour a Tasigur into play on the second turn, which would be pretty threatening. Alright, Polluted. Watery Grave. Ooh, I like this. Alright, let's do Thought Scour, Delver. Oh. We are playing Death Shadow. This fares well for our burn deck, our lightning bolt plan. Alright, so let's put the Delver out. And go to Beat Town here in a second. Now, we could have gone and done the Tasigur. But I do want to get this flyer going because my opponent's likely to play a Tasigur or Gurmag Angler of their own here. And I don't want them to just be bumping into each other at this point. I do have plenty of removal spell for that, by the way, but knowing that this Delver is going to flip, I think, is more important right now. Alright, so we're going to just pass until end of turn. I don't want to mill my assured flip into the graveyard. Boom. Alright, let's put some cards in the yard. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that Murderous Cut on this guy is the way to go. And I like the lightning bolt in there. Yeah, I like the lightning bolt in there, so we're gonna keep that. I'm thinking I may have wanted the Terminate in the graveyard instead, but I am going to be putting a Murderous Cut in the graveyard to deal with potential Death Shadow from the opponent here in a second. So knowing that I'm dealing him 3 damage, I'm putting him at 9. I represent 9 damage with the bolt in hand, the Delver on the table, and the bolt in the graveyard. So all I need to do is draw like a Snapcaster and a Steam Vents to finish him off, or attack twice from my Insect in hand and bolt him for 3. This matchup right here is doing a good job of signifying why this deck is actually positioned pretty well right now. Given that, you know, he hasn't played any removal on my creature until now. There's the lightning bolt. The whole plan of having flyers and having bolts versus a deck that damages itself so heavily like that seems pretty strong. Okay, let's see here. We are going to hopefully draw some red. No, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Interesting. Let's keep that cut in the graveyard, and I think we've got to play. I think we got to play Tasigur at this point. Oh, we have a Terminate. Let's keep the bolt in the graveyard. I've got 2 bolts in hand now. Hang on a second. What am I doing? Let's get this Gurmag Angler going. There we go. Alright, I've never wanted to draw a fetch land so bad in my life. Or be Blood Moon for that matter. Hey, there's one. Okay, cool. And we do have a Spell Pierce for our enemies packing over there. Terminate would fold the Spell Pierce right now. Hey, alright, good. Cool. That went fast. Okay, so in game 2, what do we want against him? Engineer Explosives doesn't seem too bad because it can take care of all the Death Shadows, but in some cases it is really bad because it doesn't do anything against Tasigurs and Gurmag Anglers, plus it kills all of my creatures that I wouldn't be playing. Now, I think I'm going to keep the Delver in against him, though debatably on the draw, I might want to kind of pivot into being more like a control deck sort of thing. I want the Liliana. Let's see. I might want the Countersquall, and I might want the Dispel. Taking his graveyard out is pretty good, but timing is everything. Maybe one Nihil Spellbomb isn't the worst thing in the world. Spell Snare doesn't hit a lot in his deck, honestly, so maybe I cut those. Really only gets the Terminates. Let's get rid of those guys. Kolaghan's Command is decent, but again, doesn't hit a lot in his deck. Collective Brutality has a lot of upside. When we're playing a lot of the same creatures, if I attack and we block each other with like 2 Tasigurs, I can shrink his Tasigur to death after combat and get a card from his hand, so that might be good. Let's see, I got 60. Let's throw 1 Dispel in the mix. I like the Mana Leaks in there. I like the Spell Pierce in there. And Inquisition's great. Pyromancer is great. Let's cut 1 Snap, as he might be packing some graveyard hate for us. And did I put the Nihil Spellbomb in there? I did. Okay. I think that we can rock with this. See how that goes. Alright, we'll give that a shot. They click submit, right? Yeah, okay. Now, yeah, like I said, I may have wanted the Surgicals. I'm not really sure what his plan is versus me. In a lot of cases, maybe he's prepared for my graveyard hate, and he's going to get rid of like a lot of the Snapcasters and things like that. But really, Surgical only does work versus Snapcaster and Kolaghan's Command in his deck, and maybe that's worthwhile. I have a turn 1 Delver. I've got Burn. I've got Thought Scour. I've got Dispel. I think this is okay. That is an awful lot of lands, but let's give it a shot. I do have an Inquisition coming my way. I should have expected that. Now, whatever he takes tells me a lot about his hand, too. And say, if he leaves the Delver, that tells me that he's probably got plentiful removal for it. Okay. Probably going to want to Thought Scour myself here. So, let's shock... let's just play the island. The player who plays Bolt, seeing my opponent at 14 life, makes me a little excited. counter that, huh? Oh. Ugh, another land. Boy. This deck only plays 18 of those things. Okay. Well, there's a mana leak. That's not terrible. Though if he plays a creature with a mana for Stubborn Denial available, then we're in trouble. Alright, let's go ahead and pass. Thoughtseize. What do I do about that? I think I need to counter that because I don't want him to have all the information about how bad my hand is too. I want to keep him guessing. So that is 2 damage to him. That would put him at 9. He's got 4 cards in hand. Let's counter it. Or try. Okay. Good. So that actually probably went better than expected because we drew 2 removal spells, or two spells out of his hand for 1, and he sapped himself for 2 life. He's gonna get my bolt, unfortunately, but that's okay. I just need to draw some gas at this point. Alright, Death Shadow. Give me some removal. So now as a result, he doesn't have the Stubborn Denial to protect the Death Shadow. Okay, I drew a Delver. I'm going to play the Scalding Tarn and play the Delver. Now there's this cool trick you can do with Delver where it reveals the top card of your library, and if it's not something you want, you can fetch it away. No Teamer Battle Rage, please. Though I do have a Dispel for that. Surgical. On Delver. Interesting. He saw me play that one, right? Okay. That was a strange move. You would think he might want to grab the Lightning Bolt in that case, but I'm not upset. Okay. Alright, let's see what we got. No land. Thought Scour. Alright, we will reveal that. And I would like to draw that. Fill up the graveyard a little bit. Ah, that's not bad. Okay, that's actually pretty awesome. So we can attack for 3. I've got him on a 3-turn clock here. And he's got me on a 4-turn clock. Probably should have just paid 1 for that in case he did have a Stubborn Denial. Then I could have 1 mana left over to Dispel and Stubborn Denial. Unfortunately, I didn't do that. That's okay. Oh. Sorry about that. Sure. You can have my Dispel for 2 life. Apparently didn't have the removal for the Delver there. Oh, I draw the Bolt. Awesome. Alright, let's see what we got. And is there any reason I need to shock this land into play? I don't think so. I've got mana for Mana Leak. Nice. All right. So there you go. Delver really shined there against Grixis Death Shadow. Debatably, I think it is a good matchup. I know a lot of people would say it's not a good matchup, but I think that it can be tweaked, and the deck can be made even better against that particular deck. Knowing that it is a large percentage of the field. In fact, let's look at that right now. Standard. Knowing that it's a large percentage of the field, 9% of the field. The fact that you can take advantage of their abusive life loss is something that you can really play on. Now, Thought Seize and Inquisition will really tear you up, and them having that information really is a pretty big boon to them. That game I nearly lost just because he knew I had Dispel. If he had drawn a removal spell, knowing that I had the Dispel probably would have made a big difference for him to kill my Delver and play around the Dispel. And that stuff is not so much of a big surprise when it's known from turn 1. In fact, it's not a surprise at all. So I'm gonna keep playing with this deck, and I'll do just a couple more games. I'm not gonna do a league with it, but it is one of my old favorite decks, and I love to hear your feedback as well. So please leave comments if you can. Thank you.